Leos, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for February 15th through the 21st of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click the link for more information. All right, so Leo, this week we've got a lot of things shifting. We've got 3 planets changing sign, one of which is your ruler, the sun, going into Aquarius here right off the bat on Monday. So there's new inspirations. I think there's just a new area of focus for you, which is your sun. And this is going into your relationship sphere. I think these past couple weeks, there's been a lot of deep things, maybe a lot of transformation with your self-expression, with your creativity, these kinds of matters. Maybe there's been a lot of focus on the daily tasks. But now, and there still will be, it still will be because we're still in this lunar cycle. But now your focus is going into, I think, more about your relationships. Now, this is an area that has been, maybe on some level confusing these past years with Neptune in that 7th house, or at least on some level, uncertain in that regards. But the sun comes in here and usually illuminates it, which is quite nice in that regard. The sun just shines. So I think you'll just naturally be focused on maybe forming new relationships, cultivating existing ones, and these kinds of things for the next 30 days. And this is going to be the shift going into this week. Now, also on that level, Mercury is going to be going into that 6. So I still think things are still going to be very, perhaps busy, if not maybe even for some of you busier, in regards to the daily tasks. It might be around work, might be with your self-improvement, anything else that's daily or regiment or routine for you in some sense. But that's very good. Mercury can really help you understand more about it. You can learn more about your time management, your energy management, these kinds of things, and work out the details and really get it done practically. And that's going to be followed by Venus later in the week on Thursday. So in fact, the second half of the week, you could enjoy a lot of these daily tasks as well. Now, this whole week, or at least up until the weekend, we are going to be in the first quarter phase of this lunar cycle. So it's all about implementation. It's all about grounding and applying a lot of these new insights that we had last week. And again, these new insights were probably in regards to your routine, your diet, your regimens, your work, perhaps, and how you can implement it and ground it in that very productive sense, which is Capricorn. So whatever that is, or whatever new insights did come to you, it's about working with it, implementing it this week, and constructively, applying it as you go through the week. Now here, if you look at the transit graph, we don't have a whole lot of aspects going on this week. In fact, just one major one. Mars is going to be sextiling up to the North Node here Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is a somewhat familiar energy because Mars had already been sextiling up to Jupiter this previous weekend. And this is all about this new life path shift, which is all about the Leo energy. We've got the North Node going into Leo, has been very close to that Jupiter, who's retrograde in Leo. So on one level, a lot of this is internalized, especially with the Jupiter energy. It's a lot of reflection, I think, about maybe your identity, who you are, what your goals are, where you want to see yourself, in the future, what you want to cultivate in your life. And I think these are great areas of reflection with Jupiter here. But now with Mars sextiling up to the North Node, continuing with that Jupiter energy, it's a reminder that there are opportunities here. And, the sextile isn't really a support. I mean, it's supportive energy, but it doesn't really give us much more than maybe an inspiration or some sort of door opening or some opportunity, which we can cultivate if we choose to. So if you're feeling it, great. I think it's an excellent week for learning more about yourself, for rehashing, redoing your goals in life, but, moving that energy forward nonetheless. Now, in terms of that Mars is in your 3rd house, so you guys probably have been quite assertive with your communications these past couple weeks, which is pretty good. So more positive energy for the communications, maybe learning if you're reading, writing, sharing information, these kinds of things can be quite good this week. Maybe even in regards to home and family life with Mars ruling your 4th, and maybe in regards to what's possible, which is Mars ruling that 9th. Now, like I said, Thursday, Venus is going to be going into Capricorn, which is going to be that 6th house of yours, so you can enjoy from Thursday onward a lot of these daily tasks, daily activities, maybe the work life, maybe there's relationships being cultivated in the work life, which is sometimes the case with Venus in the 6th. Now, here in the transit graph, you can see that there's one aspect that is going to be going within a 1-degree orb, a very collective energy, Jupiter opposing up to Chiron. So this is going to be more so next week. But something I do want to mention is the second half, that there's this healing taking place, and a lot of it's this healing with your identity, and again, a lot of these things that you're cultivating. So I don't think it's going to be very personal. It's going to be collective. I mean, for the most personal planets, it'll be, or personal signs, it'll be for Leos and Aquarians. But still, it's quite collective in that sense. So I think it's good to re-examine, like I was saying with Jupiter retrograde, rehash, redo, see where maybe you feel those wounds that could be healed in that sense, in terms of specifically about what's possible in life. Healing your outlook on life, your worldview, healing your perspective on what's opportunities, what's possible, etc. And that's all about balancing, really, the self, which is the first house, and your relationships. Your relationships have been going through a lot of healing over the past roughly 4 or 5 years, with Chiron here in this 7th house of yours. So continuing to see that, it's this fine balance between cultivating what you enjoy in life and what you want to cultivate, while at the same time keeping the balance with those in your life and relationships and that kind of stuff, which I think will be a focus for you anyways with the sun here, which is quite good. Now, as you approach the weekend, we are going to be in the gibbous phase, which is nice. You're going to have a full moon in your sign next week. So you guys, I think leading up to it, towards the weekend, it might be a bit reflective in nature. Maybe you're gaining, that more alone time or whatnot, perhaps, or intuitive approach to things with the moon in your 12th house. But certainly by, I would say, Sunday, and then going into next week, the moon will be in your first, and that's going to be very much illuminated. So this is a cultivation for anything that you guys have been putting energy into the past 6 months, involving yourself, involving your goals, and these kinds of things. So that's very good. But at the very least, you're aware of the self. You have the awareness of what inspires you, what motivates you, what you want to cultivate in life. And I think those are excellent things to reflect on over the weekend. All right, Leo, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.